So I wanted to do this video called What is Self-Improvement? Because a lot of us have a general idea what it is, what it means, and I think a lot of it online now has kind of got a bad taste around the word, because when we all think of that, the general videos online is all about ice baths, waking up at 4:30 a.m. and it's all kind of like a general horrible feeling around the word. When you think of the word self improvement, you kind of dread the sound of it in the beginning. And now I want to go through sort of like my journey, what I feel like it is. And I think a lot of people are kind of, I think, falling into the influence of what other people are calling it, what other people are labeling it as opposed to what I think it generally is overall. You know, it's not this hyped up 5 a.m. club kind of feeling. Self improvement to me is a totally watered down version of that, and that is the whole point of self improvement. So, self improvement to me, and what it always has been, and again, this is, like I say, a watered down version, but this is what it is improving oneself. And the good thing with self improvement, and the one thing I really like about it, is everybody's journey is different. We've all grown up different, we've all got different habits, habits that we like, habits that we don't like, and we're all in different environments. So the good thing with self-improvement that I like is that you could talk to a person from here to here, and they'll both have different priorities, different things they want to work on, and from different backgrounds and different environments. So the good thing is for this person here, you might just say, oh, you just need to maybe, let's again, just a general internet thing. You need to drink more water, go out for a run in the morning, and drink your greens, and have this multivitamin. And this person here, it might be impossible for them to do that. I might be raising a family. There might be working nights. You know, again, these things don't match. And so, like I say, the good thing with self-improvement that I've always found is it's all personal preference and all applies to that person's circumstances. And so I fell into the same trap as most other people. You know, years ago, watching all the videos online about how you need to get up at this time, drink this, eat this, you need to greet them with this certain handshake, you know, all that kind of stuff. I fell into all that. And I've tried all these different things where you try and go from 0 to 100 within overnight, for example, to quote unquote self improve. And so the big difference between that and me now trying to finally understand what is self improvement, because I don't believe there's a definition, but I believe there's a way how you perceive it, and that is self improvement is all about personal growth and how you personally want to improve. Again, i.e., self improvement. But a lot of people online try and cage self improvement into this ball and say this is self improvement and try and sell it to you. Whereas self improvement is all about circumstances, your life, and where you want to improve as a person. What I mean by that is there's not like a strict routine where you can follow that says wake up, have an ice bath, have this breakfast with this protein, carb, fat breakdown, and go out for a run and then do a journal. And it don't have to be all that. It doesn't have to be. And again, for most people, you don't need to start going to the gym, reading, journaling. You don't. Self improvement for me, and what made the biggest difference in my life, is all more about discipline, routine, and mindset. And what I mean by that is changing the mindset of going, this is how I used to be, and this used to be my standard baseline of what I would accept, and then gradually increasing that over time. If that includes you wanting to start reading, you wanting to start journaling, meditating, going to the gym, working out, running, reading, whatever. There's 101 things it could be. But the main thing, the title, so to speak, is discipline, routine, mindset. Underneath that comes what you want to use that mindset on, discipline on, routine on. But that's the top tier for me, is the mindset, routine, discipline. They're the things that change first before you start thinking about, I'm going to go to the gym, running, reading, all them things, because I can just throw all these ideas to you. I could go on Google, list 101 ways to improve your life, and gym routines and all that will be on there. But before all that, it has to be the mindset that changes. And this is what I mean. So, for example, if we just take maybe just a normal person who's wanting to get a new job, let's just take my story, for example, actually. You know what? Back in December 2024, I was doing YouTube 2 years prior, had 90,000 subs. I thought that was going to be my full-time job. Then if you fast forward on a little time after that, the quality on YouTube was getting even higher. I was trying to balance full-time and upload on YouTube every single day, talking to an editor in India, talking to a thumbnail designer in the Netherlands every single day, getting up at 6 a.m, burning myself out without going into any more, doing all that. Then I was having relationship issues. Then my dad passed away. Then my grandma passed away. And all this just led to me going down a spiraling path. On top of that, getting 2 false promotions at work where they say, we want to promote you, nothing comes of it, or we want to promote you, there's no contract, no pay rise. So you end up with me in December 2024 feeling kind of sad and down about my life, thinking, where am I going here? Why is nothing working? What is wrong? Kind of thing. And in that situation, is someone going to say to me, oh yeah, but an ice bath will help you? Oh yeah, but drinking your multivitamins in the morning is what you're lacking? No, that is not what I was lacking. And I don't know the answer, what I was lacking. But what I did do is I just started putting one step in front of the other. And this is what I'm saying about mindset, discipline and routine. And I just decided I wanted better for myself. I'm getting out of this so-called pit that I was in. And so from that moment onwards, that is when I started doing things like eating a whole food diet, no sugar. I was already going to the gym, but I started to take it a lot more seriously, take a lot more things on board, like don't need to dirty bulk anymore, I can eat a calorie deficit, lose weight, then maintain. All these kind of things. Again, gym's kind of like a personal interest / I go because I want to improve, all this kind of stuff. But then I did start reading, I did start journaling. And you've got to have a reason behind why you want to do these things. Because again, an influencer just throwing it at you, saying, oh, you should be reading these 10 perfect self-help books. What's the point if it's not helping you get towards your goal, if you don't have a reason why to do it? So for me in December 2024, I decided I'm going to get out of this and I want to improve and get a new job and work my way up the income ladder, so to speak. I figured I should be reading because I want to improve my knowledge. I should be journaling. Again, this isn't something I'm strict with journaling at the minute. I just do it time to time, but I do it as a way of getting my thoughts from here to paper in the morning, and it's as simple as that. Does it benefit me? I don't know. Is there any reason to do it? I don't know, but right now I'm doing it because I feel like it's a good way of getting my thoughts from here to paper. Going to the gym, again, do I want to improve my appearance and all them kind of things? Yeah, in a way, but I also want to feel good. I want to be able to, there's nothing better than going to the gym, lifting a weight you couldn't lift a week before, and mentally that's kind of like a dopamine hit in a way that isn't related to screens or nicotine or fast food. It's a different kind of dopamine hit. So a lot of the time, what you kind of do and what you want to improve on, there's got to be a reason why for doing it. Otherwise, just throwing it at someone saying, oh, to improve your life, you need to do X, Y, Z. You got to have a reason why. And so going back to the point how everybody's self-improvement journey is different, because like I say, how people are brought up is completely different. For example, I know someone who could have been brought up ultra disciplined, ultra healthy food, drink only water, no fizzy drinks or anything like that. And from an outsider, I might look at that and go, what the hell, they've lived like that since they've been born, So their self-improvement journey might not look like wanting to eat healthier, wanting to drink more water, want to be more disciplined. It might be other factors that they want to improve on, and someone else who got brought up on reading books and journaling, they might look at it and go, that's self-improvement. I do that every day anyway, and that's what I feel like self-improvement is. It's all a personal improvement thing where it all relates to that one person. So just throw in stereotypical things out like ice baths and drink your greens and getting up at 4:30 a.m. It's kind of like just broad words, just being thrown out and going, this is self-improvement. I feel like it's a lot more deeper than that. And once people start to understand that it's more about mindset, discipline and routine and how to get that person from point A to point B, that is how you do it. Like a fitness coach, someone who coaches someone who goes to the gym, there's a clear goal in mind. With self-improvement, there's not always a clear goal and there's not always a direct route from A to B. If someone wants to work their way up the career ladder in a bank, for example, how is an ice bath in the morning or getting up at 5 a.m, possibly 5 a.m, getting up early, maybe, but how is that exactly going to get them the next promotion? The next promotion might involve better speaking skills, might involve eating healthier, maybe changing up their appearance, coming across, dressing better. It might just be simple things like that get them the next promotion that makes them ultimately happy in life. So I feel like that's self-improvement to me. Self-improvement to me, overall, like I say, is more about a personal growth, about that personal person, where they are in their current life. For example, there could be someone out there bringing up 2 kids, single dad, and he wants to improve his fitness levels so he can go on more adventures with his kids, go on more holidays with them, become more confident. You know, that's more of a gym goal, but that's his self-improvement journey in a way. That's his journey from here to here, is from single dad with 2 kids that wants to improve how he looks and feels to this point where he's ultimately confident, he goes on holiday, he goes on adventures with them, and even though he's getting older, he can still keep up with them in a way. That journey is totally different to the 16-year-old who's just left school and let's say they want to quit smoking because they got into smoking at 14 at a bad age. Everybody's self-improvement's different, you know, and I feel like once we get to that point of this horrible online internet thing, of this overall kind of like self-improvement is this, and unless you do this, you're not doing self-improvement, I think once we get away from that, we'll be in a lot better place.